the distinction between regular migration and the mass movement of undocumented Haitians is crucial. Regular migration refers to a controlled and lawful process where individuals follow established legal channels. A migration problem occurs when some enter illegally, but this can typically be managed through conventional procedures designed to address irregular migration. However, the mass movement of millions of undocumented Haitians, who are neither identifiable nor traceable in their country of origin, presents a fundamentally different type of situation. This scale of movement creates overwhelming challenges, surpassing the scope of standard migration controls. It strains public services, hampers legal oversight, and poses serious security risks, requiring a far more comprehensive and urgent approach to manage effectively. Challenges for the Dominican Republic. The lack of documentation among Haitians presents significant challenges for the Dominican Republic. Many Haitians enter the country illegally and often fail to register or report their entry, each of which is a violation of immigration law. Overstaying their permitted time adds another legal infraction. By the time these individuals are questioned by Dominican migration authorities, regardless of any humanitarian reasons for crossing the border, the law, like all countries, mandates deportation. The situation is further complicated by the fact that many undocumented individuals cannot provide any identification, making it impossible to perform background checks, including criminal record verification. For context, as of 2024, the Dominican Republic's population is approximately 11 million, with about 3 million undocumented and not identifiable Haitians, which represents about 27% of the total population. This lack of proper documentation poses serious security risks and complicates immigration control. Additionally, Haiti's non-functional system for providing background checks only prolongs the deportation process. Dominican authorities are left with little choice but to enforce their immigration laws without the means to verify the backgrounds of undocumented migrants.
Armed groups attacked two of the largest prisons in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, just yesterday. And officials say over 4,000 inmates managed to escape. Over 4,000 inmates managed to escape. Over 4,000 inmates managed to escape.
Considering 82% of Haitians are undocumented, can you identify which of these are part of the 4,000 that escaped?
More than 170 inmates have escaped to jail in Haiti following a mass breakout. One guard was killed in the incident, which took place around 45 kilometers north of the capital, Port-au-Prince.
Can you identify which of this are part of the 170 more that escaped?
Armed police surround the prison just outside the capital, Port-au-Prince, where several inmates managed to flee. Among them was Arnold Joseph, who's been described as one of Haiti's most notorious gang leaders.
This group has no papers, no ID, no biometric registry in Haiti. Can you identify Arnold Joseph in this group? Maybe in this settlement of 170,000 undocumented Haitians. Or in this settlement of 500,000 undocumented Haitians. The number of undocumented Haitians crossing into the Dominican Republic has far exceeded what is generally considered a migration issue. Since its inception, the Dominican Republic has consistently welcomed regular migration, successfully integrating various groups who have been part of Dominican society for a long time. However, the situation is starkly different when facing 3 million undocumented and not identifiable Haitians. This situation has, by far, changed from a migration issue commonly seen in other countries to a fundamental security risk, extending beyond the scope of just a humanitarian migration challenge. Misrepresenting the actions of Dominican authorities to deter this massive movement of undocumented and not identifiable Haitians and oversimplifying it as racist or anti-black measures is fundamentally wrong. It necessitates urgent and comprehensive strategies to address the complex dynamics at play. Some may argue that not all 3 million undocumented individuals are actually gang members. And they are probably right. Nevertheless, in more than 15 years of international cooperation, intervention, and financial aid, has anyone even tried to document the Haitian nationals? The plain facts that NGOs and activists overlook is that by pushing for the mass displacement of undocumented people, they are creating an environment of illegality in the host country where these individuals become vulnerable, existing outside any legal system. Undocumented Haitians are particularly vulnerable, and efforts should be focused on regularization at the place of origin, not on bending international migration laws and fomenting a cycle of perpetual illegality. Note: undocumented migrants are illegal migrants. Illegality does not expire over time. Illegality never generates rights. Illegality only benefits criminal organizations. Illegality also benefits NGOs. Illegality is not a human right. Undocumented people are vulnerable. Vulnerable to human traffic. Vulnerable to labor exploitation. Vulnerable to discrimination. Vulnerable to exclusion. Let's promote legalization in the country of origin first. Not illegal migration.
They over there may not have a voice, but we will speak up for them. Yes. All right?
Until
Stop
she's
the deportation in Dominican Republic. Stop the deportation in Dominican Republic.
Will affect people, Dominicans of Haitian descent, or who can just be picked up because they have a Haitian-sounding name, or because they look Haitian, or black.
The Dominican government says it'll provide a path to legal residency status for those affected. But experts say that's just not enough.
Some have even suggested divestment, such as what we saw with apartheid in South Africa, as a means to place international pressure on the Dominican government. And I think we need to think about all strategies.
Haitian lives matter.
These protesters say Haitian migrants deserve to stay in the DR. Deserve to stay in the DR. Deserve to stay in the DR.
To make matters worse, the same organizations that promote illegal migration from Haiti to the Dominican Republic are fully aware of the existing legal barriers for those irregular migrants and their children born on Dominican soil to undocumented parents. Despite this knowledge, they perpetuate generations of illegality and misinform Haitians, the media, and the world. The Constitution of the Dominican Republic, as opposed to that of the USA, one of the few countries that grants nationality at birth, does not grant automatic nationality at birth. The Dominican Constitution, like many if not the majority of nations, is very clear on this and leaves no room for misinterpretation. Article 18. Dominican nationality. People born in the national territory, with the exception of the sons and daughters of foreign members of diplomatic and consular legations, or of foreigners who find themselves in transit or residing illegally in Dominican territory. This fundamental law is not based on race, color, or religious beliefs. Like all countries, it is based on the right of law and legality and the sovereign right. In simple terms, there is a specific and clear exception: the sons and daughters of foreigners who find themselves in transit or reside illegally in Dominican territory. There is little room for error or misinterpretation here. On the other hand, the Haitian Constitution grants nationality based on parentage regardless of the place of birth. Article 11. Haitian nationality. Any person born of a Haitian father or Haitian mother, who are themselves native-born Haitians and have never renounced their nationality, possesses Haitian nationality at the time of birth. Thus, Haitians are not stateless. Haitians are never stateless.
10 years ago, 22-year-old Andres had his Dominican Republic citizenship stripped. Even though he was born there.
Dominican citizenship or nationality is not automatic. Dominican Constitution, Article 18, Dominican nationality is not given at birth. The Haitian nationality is already automatically given at birth. Haitian Constitution, Article 11.
They want me to have an ID card that says I'm a foreigner from Haiti, like I was born there, and that's unacceptable. The
Dominican Republic provides a path to regularization and formal documentation for foreigners. The same applies for all countries, for example Haiti, Venezuela, Colombia, Ukraine, Senegal.
They want me to have an ID card that says I'm a foreigner from Haiti, like I was born there, and that's unacceptable.
Haitians do not accept regularization. They want to be registered as Dominicans regardless they already have a legal Haitian nationality. This presents some legal challenges since they are legally already Haitians. Dominican citizenship or nationality is not automatic. Dominican Constitution, Article 18, Dominican nationality is not given at birth. The Haitian nationality is already automatically given at birth. Haitian Constitution, Article 11.
And that's unacceptable.
We asked Foreign Minister Roberto Alvarez to respond to charges by Amnesty International of racism, and inhumane treatment of Haitians.
73% of our population is mixed blood. 16% black, 11% white. So there's never been within Dominicans a distinction as to race. That is completely false, number one. Of course, we're more than willing to help with the international community with any humanitarian assistance, but the question is being asked, why isn't the Dominican Republic shouldering the bulk of it?
In Villa Duarte, working-class Dominicans we met insist their country is doing its fair share already. They say hundreds of thousands of Haitians live here, everyone mixed together.
Imagine 2 people live in your house and 5 more arrive. Your share of everything shrinks,
But the presence of so many Haitians is also creating tensions.
I feel sorry for them, but they should be sent back to their country. We're being flooded by Haitians.
You go to a hospital and there are 10 Haitians and 2 Dominicans. That can't be. They are taking away our rights.
We're in the general hospital now, and indeed there are many, many Haitians here, many Haitian children as well. But that's only part of the story. They didn't just arrive yesterday. Many have been here for decades, undocumented.
A critical burden on the Dominican Republic. In 2023, 14% of the total public health budget, which amounts to $2,311.88 million, will be allocated to the care of the Haitian population and other irregular foreigners. This translates into a significant expense of $323.81 million. Haitians born on Dominican Republic soil are not stateless, they are Haitian nationals. The continued accusations that the Dominican Republic is creating a population of stateless individuals are simply wrong and intentionally divert the narrative away from the real issue, which is the lack of proper documentation for Haitian nationals in Haiti. Pushing the narrative of Dominicans of Haitian descent and the supposed right to nationality, while knowing that it is fundamentally incorrect, only serves to confuse the issue and encourage further illegal migration into the Dominican Republic.
In South Florida today, loud protests over the deportation of Haitians from the Dominican Republic. As CBS 4's Gary Nelson reports, demonstrators say a new policy is destroying families and Dominican citizens are being thrown out of their own country. And Dominican citizens are being thrown out of their own country. And Dominican citizens are being thrown out of their own country.
Haitians taking to the streets by the thousands in the Dominican Republic hasn't stopped the DR from moving forward with plans to round up and deport hundreds of thousands of undocumented and documented Haitian migrants.
Undocumented Haitian migrants in the Dominican Republic face significant challenges, particularly in understanding the validity of their documents. While many are completely without documents, those who do have them frequently claim they are valid despite their expiration. Due to an estimated 80% illiteracy rate, there is widespread misunderstanding of what constitutes expired documents and their implications for legal status. For instance, many sugarcane workers who initially entered with work permits have continued working for decades with expired documents, mistakenly believing they are still compliant with immigration laws, oftentimes claiming they have documents.
In Miami Wednesday, demonstrators protested the Dominican Republic's deportation policy, one they call racist. Dominicans are light-skinned, and the nation has a Jim Crow-like history of treatment of blacks. The new immigration law spares no one from possible eviction, including children of Haitian descent born in the DR, natural-born citizens.
Dominican nationality is not automatically granted at birth. Read the Dominican Constitution, Article 18. Dominican nationality. People born in the national territory, with the exception of the sons and daughters of foreign members of diplomatic and consular legations, of foreigners that find themselves in transit or reside illegally in Dominican territory. In simple terms, there is a clear specific exception of the sons and daughters of foreigners that find themselves in transit or reside illegally in Dominican territory. No much room for error or misinterpretation there.
We will not stop until justice is served, because this is injustice.
They need to stop that injustice. They need to stop that discrimination. And guess what? If they don't stop, we are going to call a big boycott.
If we're not hitting them in their pockets, they're not going to stop what they're doing. So we need to boycott. Boycott DR. Boycott. Boycott. Boycott.
While Haitians and human rights organizations are outraged, the United States, the United Nations, the world has largely remained silent on what's going on in the DR. In Miami, Gary Nelson, CBS 4 News.
Well, the Dominican government says it's simply following an immigration law and
the media also has its motives. By oversimplifying the complex nature of mass displacement of undocumented Haitians crossing into the Dominican Republic and shifting the narrative to the more appealing controversy of race, anti-blackness, and apartheid, they appeal to a much wider audience. This sensationalized portrayal distracts from the actual issues of undocumented migration, security risks, and legal frameworks. Instead of focusing on the need for proper documentation and regularization processes, the media often chooses to frame the situation as a racial conflict, which misleads the public and hinders constructive dialogue. The UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, UNICEF, the International Organization for Migration, IOM, Human Rights Watch, HRW, Amnesty International, have, whether intentionally or not, created a more dangerous situation for undocumented pregnant Haitian women by promoting the Dominican Republic as a more feasible, safe place where they can give birth at no cost, even if undocumented. Rather than creating sustainable, long-lasting solutions within Haiti itself, meaning in Haitian territory, including birth clinics and pathways to document newborns in Haiti, they have in fact diverted the problem to the Dominican Republic as a way to deflect international criticism for years of failures in the Republic of Haiti. Comment by UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk on deportation of Haitians from Dominican Republic. I called for deportations to Haiti to stop, given the human rights and humanitarian crises the country is facing. I am troubled to see that forced returns of Haitians to Haiti from the Dominican Republic are continuing. I also call on the Dominican Republic authorities to step up efforts to prevent xenophobia, discrimination, and related forms of intolerance based on national, racial or ethnic origin, or immigration status. Note the narrative change here. The use of emotionally charged words like prevent xenophobia, discrimination, racial or ethnic origin, before addressing the actual and relevant issue of immigration status, specifically, irregular migration status on Dominican soil, creates a misleading message. This narrative fosters animosity toward the Dominican Republic and, as expected, generates an opposite response toward illegal migrants. On another note, this accusation seems like an act of activism. Nevertheless, we are talking about the UN's High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, a lawyer with a master's degree in law and a doctorate in international law from the University of Vienna. Who should know better? While acknowledging that it is Haitians, not Dominicans, who are being deported to Haiti, it doesn't take a law degree to understand that the deportation of illegal, undocumented Haitians, or individuals of any nationality, is a basic sovereign right of any nation. Deportations are not carried out based on xenophobia, discrimination, intolerance, racial profiling, or ethnic origin, but from a legal standpoint grounded in immigration status. These accusations only shift the overall narrative and create unnecessary animosity toward the Dominican Republic.
Dominican President Luis Abinader has announced that the repatriation of Haitians living illegally in the country will continue and increase. The visibly upset president was responding to the United Nations Human Rights Commissioner, Volker Turk. Mr. Turk had called on the Dominican to halt rising deportations of Haitian migrants at a time of turmoil in their country. But President Abinader emphasized that the Dominican Republic has had the greatest economic burden in the face of the Haitian crisis. In the last 3 months, more than 60,000 citizens who did not have relevant residence permits have been sent back to Haiti.
This shift of narrative to blame the Dominican Republic has only promoted animosity toward Dominicans and, even worse, created the conditions for more dangerous activities to emerge. In effect, created a criminal network of human traffickers who charge for smuggling undocumented pregnant women into the Dominican Republic. This further exacerbates the problem of newborns without Dominican nationality. This 94.1% birth rate among undocumented Haitians, compared to just 5.9% Dominicans born, is far more than a migration issue. It represents an alarming situation that is, in effect, displacing the Dominican population. This stark cultural, social, and demographic shift has the potential to overwhelm and erase Dominican culture, values, language, religion, and traditions in areas where Dominicans have become a minority or are nearly non-existent. Some organizations have gone so far as to demand automatic nationality for these individuals, which only increases popular rejection. Such demands ignore the historical context and the sensitive nature of the relationship between the two countries, further deepening divisions and exclusion. It is a complete disregard for the fact that every 27th of February, Dominicans celebrate their independence from Haiti. Yes. From Haiti. Not from Spain. As of 2024, the Dominican health system is registering more Haitian births than those of Dominicans, creating an environment of increased social tension between the two countries. One more aggravating issue for Dominicans is that while the media portrays Haiti as a failed state, predominantly using images from the southern regions, specifically around Port-au-Prince, and depicts the Dominican Republic as a racist country that favors apartheid, xenophobia, and anti-blackness, it completely fails to show the reality of the northern part of Haiti.
Like you, chap in the bando, I don't wanna look like you. Chap in the bando, I don't wanna look like you.
Save the best for last, like always, my friend. I'm back.
Life is too short. Why when I hear celebrating?
C'est carnaval qui vit.
I'm too blessed
for real
to be stressed.
I'm too blessed for you,
just
son.
Let us celebrate.
I'm living a life.
I'm too blessed to be stressed. Just let us celebrate.
Back there, you unlock Mercedes, I'm better champagne la sous moi.